As you said, this is the 7th year that we've run the conference and the symposium, and it's a really exciting opportunity for us to reach out to all the nurses in the kingdom, to invite them to come and join with us and to share the experience, the knowledge, the practice, the developments in nursing, and to give people an opportunity to network so that they can follow up on ideas that they hear here and actually make a difference to patient and family care. What we're looking at is how the management of change happens to ensure that we're always continuously developing, providing education, having a framework model to work with, looking at the advances in education, science and technology, looking at how we develop the quality aspect of the care that we give to our patients. And really, overall, what we're trying to do is to raise the profile of professional nursing within the kingdom so that we get more Saudi people who want to be nurses in the future. Well, if you think about it, the nurse is the person who's with the patient 24 hours a day. We're there day, night, weekends, to support, to advocate, to make sure that the patient's journey is as it is planned to be, that they don't have delays in treatments, that we make sure that the people, the procedures they need are given in the right way. So we see ourselves not only as the caregivers, but also as the advocate of the patient to help them make informed decisions. We've got international speakers from America, from England. We have Dame Christine Beasley, who was the chief nurse of the whole of England. Really exciting to have her. We have Professor Symes, who's the dean of a university in the UK, Buckinghamshire New University. And we have Christine Martin, who's just spoken very well on the lean methodology. And she is the vice president of the Stamford hospitals in the USA. And locally, we have some speakers from within the organisation, but also national speakers who are joining us to share their knowledge and expertise.
I'm David Symes, and I'm Professor of Nursing at Buckinghamshire New University in the United Kingdom. Indeed, this is my 4th visit to Riyadh and to King Fahd Medical City, and on this occasion I'm going to be giving a keynote address tomorrow morning on quality and leadership from managers of hospitals and how that influences the quality of patient care on the front line of local delivery. This is something that your country's been working very well with over the last 5 years. I'm already witnessing, after my 4th visit over 4 years, a huge change in quality of care to patients. Your nursing staff are working closely with patients to deliver family-based care, and it's becoming a very clear reality that we've now got excellence in treatments, much better outcomes for patients. Patients are spending less time in hospital, and more importantly, the patient satisfaction is much higher.
Welcome back to Sarin Morning Show. Nursing is a very important part of our medical treatment and medical health. Without nurses, we will not be able to get the treatment and assistance that we need for our better health to be better. And coming up next, we'll be discussing with Mr. Abdi Sheikh Qasim, which is a nurse education consultant, and Lant Carrillo, which is a nurse educator. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
And Mr. Abdi, please will you tell us briefly about the 7th International Nursing Conference?
First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the TV station for giving us the opportunity to share our events, and also giving opportunity for our participants to have some insight of our the 7th International Nursing Conference. Traditionally, King Fahd Medical City conducts on yearly International Nursing Conference. This year, the theme of the conference was Advancing a Nurse Practice, Roadmap to Excellence. And we have over 1,200 participants. We have invited, as you have seen, some of the well-known experts in the nursing field from UK, from USA. And also we have international, and also we had local speakers. And something different this year actually was King Fahd Medical City, as you know, is one of the leading institutions within the kingdom. That we had about 14 speakers who share their experiences, they share their innovation, they share their research, and it was a very successful conference. And year after year, it seems that really we are raising the bar, and like to thank all the speakers who really participated, and it gives everybody an opportunity to get updated. To know what's going on. And as you know, in nursing field and also in technology, things are advancing, and we need to get updated. We need the latest evidence-based practice. We need the latest innovations. Also, we need to examine the strategy that we are employing in order to ensure the nursing profession is being advanced, and ultimately the patient outcome.
So that was the reason for the 7th International Nursing Conference.
Exactly. Was networking, was describing the role of nurse in the face of the changing environment, was to looking at the leadership competency itself, from board to the bedside. We need to identify the role they play in order to improve the nursing profession. Networking was another important, as you know. 1,200 participants all over the kingdom came together, sharing the knowledge they gain, and also we learned something from them also. So it was an opportunity that to actually give everybody an opportunity to share.
Indeed. And Ms. Margaret, tell us a little as to how it is that you see the role of nursing developing in Saudi Arabia. How do you see developments with the nursing profession?
Good morning. How
Morning
are
to
you?
you too.
And it's an honor to be here. Nursing in Saudi Arabia is actually very wide in context also, and the practice is really welcomed now. Unlike years before, that there was a research around 24 years ago for the Saudi perception of nursing in Saudi Arabia, and it is significantly different as to how it is today. Previously, nurses were seen as like extensions of the doctors and not part of the treatment care, but now nursing has expanded its role, and it is very much recognized in Saudi Arabia. So I'd like to mention a few, which was also featured in our international conference, and that is participation in quality, participation in research. So we have expanded much of our role and recognition as well in Saudi Arabia, and the students as well have participated very much in the international conference. So we have gained acceptance in the society, patient and family-centered care as well.
And Ms. Marland, what does a person need to be qualified as a nurse?
That is a good question, and I'd like to divide, when you talk of qualifications, into two contexts: personal and professional qualifications. Now, if you talk about, I'd like to talk about the latter first. For you to basically be qualified professionally in Saudi Arabia, you need to enroll in an accredited university for around 5 to 6 years, if I'm right, after which you need to undergo a 12-month internship program, and later on then submit for qualification from Saudi Commission for Health Specialty, which is the governing body for healthcare and other professionals in the kingdom. That is the basic professional qualifications. Now, if we talk of personal qualifications now, it has to be a lot. There are 3 major things that you need to see in a nurse for him not only to be successful, but to be good in her care. He or she must be caring and compassionate, because you take care of the sick people from all walks of life.
And Mr. Abdi, can you please tell for the viewers at home, how many different type of nurses are there in medical field? Because when you go to a hospital, you see a different type of nurse with different specialty. How many is there?
Thank you. It's a very important question. The nursing profession deals with the lifespan of an individual. from birth until end to end. So a baby to an older or senior. So you could have a pediatric nurse, you could have a maternity nurse, you could have a general nurse, you could have an adult nurse, you could have a mental health nurse, you have a community nurse. So there's a variety of different roles that nurse can play. Having said that, in a graduation, especially in the kingdom, when they graduate, they are a general nurse. Then they develop an interest of what they want to be.
Is there more courses or more years to add it to as after a general nurse?
Very good question. If you want to remain in a general nursing, you don't need to have additional courses or education, because exposure to the clinical area in combination with your basic nursing knowledge that will allow you to perform your duty. If you want to become a subspecialty, if you want to be a cardiac nurse, critical care nurse, pediatric ICU, neonatal ICU, midwifery, then you need additional courses. And I'm glad to report that in King Fahd Medical City we have 5 post nursing diploma that has been accredited, that 1 year duration. So once you complete that 12-month program, then you will be able to work in a subspecialty in nursing.
I'm sure. And
so it's similar to that of the doctors, that once they are going to become MDs is when they would decide and they would be able to find their area of interest, such as somebody wants to do a specialization in gynecology, to somebody wants cardiac specializations in order to become a cardiologist. So it's similar in the case of nursing.
Similar in a way, but what is good with nursing is that you are not required for you to practice nursing to really specialize into a field, as what Mr. Abdi Ghani has said. General nursing and experience will lead you to expertise.
Indeed. And what are some of the challenges facing nurse employment, Ms. Marlon?
The challenges that face nursing employment, especially in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, is that firstly we have an aging patient population. So together with that, we also have an aging nursing population. Aside from that, we have shortage of manpower, and that's one issue that would really stress the workforce that we have, not only in Saudi Arabia, but globally. But that is just one challenge, and we have discussed this previously, that we have identified gaps in nursing. Mr. Abdi Ghani, would you like to add more of this?
The challenge, very good question. It's universal. One being shortage of nursing, and this is not only isolated in the kingdom. As you know, the majority of the nursing workforce in the kingdom are expatriates, and one of the challenges that, and we are really working very hard, is to empower the national nursing profession, recruiting young high school leavers. As also, as you know, and I would like to take this opportunity, we have a large number of diploma or associate nurses that we really want to bridge them to become a baccalaureate. And we have, because you have seen Professor David Sinis, who is from UK, one of our speakers actually shared with us the latest research that showed that if you have a baccalaureate BSN nurse looking after a patient, you save lives per year. I think it's something into 359 lives. So improving the quality, the qualification, recruiting, retaining, I think that's the major challenge, and will overcome in the future for the shortage of nurses.
So, Mr. Abdi Ghani, regarding the shortage, you believe that if there was a higher increase and higher educated, like you mentioned, bachelors, do you think that will increase the percentage or the quality of care for the patients in the kingdom?
Oh, definitely. As I said, education, quality, outcome, they are all interrelated. In terms of the shortage, is a multifactorial. Increasing the number of nurses will not only resolve the issues. There's, as Marlon mentioned it, there is a society component, there is a family commitment component, there is aging component. But we are in the right direction of trying to overcome, or at least put a strategy in the future. King Fahd Medical City Nursing Services has a long-term strategies of increasing the Saudi nursing workforce. So we have a long way to go, and we have a long way that we came from.
Indeed. And Mr. Abdul Ghani, as Ms. Marilyn was saying earlier in the program, that being a nurse, you need to be compassionate, you need to be understanding, and being patient is also one of the very, very important virtues, I believe, that a nurse should have. Now, usually we get to see that the word compassion is so synonymous with females. How is it that you find the men in the profession of nursing?
I know you're going to ask me this question. We have, and I feel very compassionate about this question, because actually to be a nurse, regardless of your gender, there is a specific, special personal traits that one must possess. Not everybody can be a nurse, and that comes with your the background, your feeling towards nursing profession is unlike any other profession, because you are dealing with a human being, you are dealing with a person. So regardless of your gender, if you don't have that inside in you, if you don't feel compassionate, if you don't feel empathy, if you don't really have a caring attitude, regardless of the gender, so I cannot really equate gender in terms of the type of care you provide to your patient. And I always, when I meet with the new interns or the new trainees, tell them, and I give an example, because this is very crucial. When you walk into a patient's room, think about it. This could be your mother, this could be your father, this could be your brother. So you need to humanize. You need to put, their shoes on. And also I said, nobody voluntarily come to the hospital to be sick. So convincing them and understanding, I think that's the most important thing. And as a leaders on this field, that's what we are trying to instill. And as a matter of fact, I'm interested with my colleague, Mr. Ahmed, to conduct a research that's saying, why did you become a nurse? Regardless of your gender, I need to know, right? Why did they become a nurse? So if they are lacking that element in it, then we have a problem.
So if we ask you this question that you just mentioned about that, why is it that you became a nurse?
so I'm now subject of the research.
Yeah.
Very good question. I've been asked when I was interviewed at early age, I don't want to mention it, but actually it was the desire to help. I feel like, and the most rewarding thing is, when I help somebody, I make them smile. When somebody walks in a bad shape, having a heart attack, having a heart failure, having a GI bleed, almost in desire, desperate situation, you stay with them from day one, and then you see them go home. That is why I became a nurse.
And what about you, Mrs. Marilyn?
Well, I'm also subject to the research, but in a different context. When I was young, I always thought of being part of a profession that saved lives. And so my sister is a medical doctor at this time, and when I was given the choice of which profession should I take, I thought of which profession should spend most of the time with the patients. And of course, it is the nurses. The nurses actually are the ones giving the impression. They can make or break the impression of a whole hospital.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. But let's say, as nurses, I mean, of course, we know that doctors are a very important part when it comes to the medical treatment and the whole course of the treatment for which a patient might be hospitalized in a hospital. But nurses are the prime caregivers. But how is it, being a nurse, is it very difficult for you as a man, Mr. Abdul Ghani, and for you, Ms. Marlet, as a female, to overcome your own emotions? That means that things might not always be going so well in your life. Maybe you have some frustrations with the hospital that you are working with. Maybe you're not satisfied with the salary packages that you're getting. Maybe there is a problem with your child or your brother or your sister, and he somewhere is in need of you as well, while you have to be at your job. How is it that you overcome that and continue to care?
Amazing. I think you just hit the right. And when we were discussing about the challenge, this is one of the major challenges. We are fathers, we are sisters, we are mothers, we have a commitment. We have expectations from our employee. and our employee has an expectation. It's also we have a role and responsibility. So as a professional, you need to differentiate, and this is what I always advocate. And constantly, every day there is a challenge with the employee, with the staff, and myself. But again, I have to remember, why am I here? I'm here for the patient. I'm here to develop the staff in order for them to provide a care. So separate your emotion, personal emotions, your personal commitment. There is help, service available for you if you need counseling. But this is the first thing that I always advocate. I say, look, okay, now, we have a commitment as a professional, and we need to be seen as the people who are able to separate their own needs, their own emotional too. Because if what you're talking about is stress, if I'm stressed out, there's a lot of impact on me, and that will translate into also into the outcome of the patient. So, and we try to avoid it. You talk about shortage, decrease the workload. You talked about support they needed, so we provide that in order to avoid it. They burn out, okay? The retention becomes an issue, recruitment becomes an issue. So as a leaders, we are aware of the need, and we always say you need to look after your house first before you look after others. So empowering, supporting, and that's what we are doing them. Acknowledge, I need to empower my staff so they will have enough to carry on, enough to separate that emotion. So this is very good, absolutely good question, and we are very aware, even myself and also my team. Every day we deal with it, but at the end of the day, we are here to do a work, and that is the most important thing that we need to keep in mind.
Indeed. And with this, we are going to be embarking on towards a short report for the moment, and once we return, we are going to be resuming our discussion. But as well as we are talking about nursing, we want to hear the feedback of all our viewers as well. We want you to share with us your experiences with the profession of nursing, if you or any member of your family are associated with it, and if you have had first-hand experience of being cared for by a nurse. Now with this, as we're going to be signing out from today's this discussion, is there a message that you would like to give to the people who are watching you, be it the people who would eventually want to become nurses, or regarding to this important meeting that you guys have just held?
First of all, again, thank you for giving us this opportunity. Thank you for the viewers, and absolutely, I would like to take this opportunity to inform our audience, especially the young generation, the high school leavers, those people who are really interested to become a nurse. There is a great opportunity to become a nurse. We are actually introducing a campaigning. Maybe one day we'll be visiting your high school, because we have a really brilliant scholarship program within King Fahd Medical City, where we will recruit high school leavers who qualified and who are willing, as I said, to be a nurse, to join with us eventually and train them and then send them abroad to become a scholar. And as we mentioned, the kingdom needs a variation. They need to go out, they need to bring a different perspective of nursing. And so if anybody interested, they could come to the King Fahd Medical City and they could inquiry. We hear about opportunity for high school leavers who really wanted to become a nurses, and you are more than welcome.
Indeed. I would like to take a moment for thank you both for joining us today. Hopefully a lot of the viewers at home, especially youth, get to be inspired by the nursing professional. So thank you, Mr. Abdi Qani, Sheikh Ghasim, and Ms. Marlon Carrillo for joining us today.
And also we would like to send our very warm regards to Ms. Helen King as well, who is the Director of Nursing Education Department at King Fahd Medical City as well. And we wish all the nurses here in the kingdom as well as the world over all the best in order to pursue their profession with dedication and sincerity and love. With this, we are embarking on towards a short report. Following this would be Dr. Abdulaziz Ad-Damas, who's going to be joining us here in the program. Stay tuned.